All right, let's see how we do with post workout game. Still a little bit out of breath, but it's good to test yourself at different times, see how you can do. All righty. And you know what? I am feeling a solid Queen's Gambit in this line, and we get a stinky Tarrasch. So we're going to have to go this way anyway. Shame. And that just uses a tempo for black. And A3 I really like, as it gives them time to make moves like A6 that really aren't necessary at all in the position. And you got a few extra moves and some space. So this I'm considering to be one of the new main lines, so to speak. And if D4, knight A4, rook C1, knight C5. So the pawn can get strung out a bit. That's typically a move you don't want to make, as when I get knight C5, which is the plan anyway, I will have an extra target there. And you can stop me from getting to one of them, but not both of them. So I will have my square. One way or another, I will have my square. And trades hurt you because with an isolated pawn, you need to be attacking. Where is your attack, Tarrasch player? Where is your attack? Okay, so if I simply do this, if you try to trade more, which doesn't make any sense. In fact, I can play bishop h1 or bishop takes d5, and this seems highly annoying. Okay. I'm in no hurry. Wow, that was stupid. Bishop b3. And miss bishop b3. This is what happens when you don't take your opponent seriously because you don't like the opening that they played. It happens. It definitely happens. Knight c5. And again, this, like I had the Tarrasch video the other day. It's just, I'm bored of playing this opening. It's like, thank you for giving me an isolated pawn to play against with my style of play. I'm just a happy guy, and I'm going to play forever. I have the bishop pair. I'm even contemplating sacking here, just because it looks good. Looking for best play, because I haven't been satisfied with my play so far in the game, especially missing an obvious tactic. See, if I test the waters first. And I sometimes forget it's 3-2, so there's not really such a thing as time trouble in 3-2 if you have any reasonable amount of speed. So a bit more grind, a little less, just put them away. Yep, rooks move that way too. Too much in a hurry to trade down unnecessarily. Now the position is very resignable for my opponent. I'm going to take there, threaten mate. Knight e5, queen takes. Ends in disaster for the opponent. And this should be a point where resignation should happen, but it's not, is it? We're going to have to play out a few more moves unnecessarily. Yes, yes. See how the attack continues, even when I'm slowing down. No targets, no back rank mate threats. Only pain. Only pain. Rook c8, 2 connected passers. You can check just for fun. I go king g2. And how about that? I'm going to set up a situation to where he cannot check me. And the game is completely over then. I'm going to put my king on g2 and a pawn on f3. And with no targets, no chances, it will be done. All I have to do is push the pawns. A and B pawns walk up the board very conveniently. Let's go ahead and do that move for good measure. And it's looking like it's giving us the opportunity to improve without risk. Love to be able to play queen d4 in certain situations to threaten mate, and there it is. And try to make defense seamless. When you're up material, all you have to do is trade down, so don't be in a hurry. Kill your opponent's counterplay and be done with the game. So, I get enthusiastic like this about exchange variations in the French and Carcan, the Alpine Sicilian, the London system. London system's far better to play against than the others though. And Tarrasch. I don't think there's any other openings in chess that give me a negative emotional response. Like I said, I've said it before, it's not because they're bad openings by any means. It's just so many people play them and it doesn't require any effort and I have nothing to learn from it. So like out of the opening here, I'll move 15. I feel I have an objectively winning position. I don't really care what the computer says because black needs to be attacking to justify an isolated pawn in the position from a theoretical standpoint. And I have a clear plan to put a knight on c5 and interrupt his life. So here, rook fc1 would have been better because I definitely missed the opportunity of bishop b3 for my opponent. But again, I do have some outs here in bishop takes c6, followed by knight c5, and queen takes d4. And this is still very much a playable game. Black has the edge at this point, but I feel confident in my chances anyway. As long as you don't trade all the heavies here, white should be fine as black has pawn weaknesses in the long term. So I definitely missed that big opportunity for my opponent, and then you don't give him another one after this. Bishop takes c6 or b5 were on the radar because this was my only real think that I had in the game. But I wanted to play queen d3 to test the position a bit, and bishop a4 is a very unnatural move. I was thinking bishop e6, followed by taking in this position, and I could go bishop takes d4 followed by e3, or rook takes c6 and have a big edge. Bishop a4 was not on my radar at all, to be completely honest, but it does hold critical squares. But the bishop's offsides, so I don't think many humans would consider this move. This is rough equality. I mean, just because the engine goes, yeah, this, doesn't mean that this, every piece is better than the black counterpart. That says something. All right, bishop d5, and a piece is a piece. Now, you want to kill counterplay in the most efficient way possible. Don't hang your rook. All base pawns are covered, so there's no weaknesses. No checkmating possibilities with just a queen, so the only thing that he can hope for is the potential of a perpetual. I don't allow the h-pawn to go further. Stop that. Break the pin. No checks. The base pawns are all covered. I am fishing with queen d3, looking for that. And thankfully the opponent didn't play on any more there. But overall, I like this line. I think the first time I saw it was in Chessable in Shankland's, one of the parts of Shankland's D4 repertoire. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. But I really like the idea of holding the knight back from c3, because knight c3 is in all of the Tarrasch players' books, and they want to see it. They absolutely love playing against it. And there are some lines where knight e4, like say for instance if you play a passive move like b3, knight e4 does pretty well because of bishop f6 and pressure on the long diagonal. If you play d takes c5 immediately like I did, the knight at e4 plan doesn't have teeth, as we saw in the main game, because I'm able to play knight d2, a possibility which normally doesn't exist because they're just going to go knight takes c3. I'd much rather have this knight on the better square. So I think it's kind of a problem line for Tarrasch players, which is why I really like it. Credit to Sam on that one.